Beers and Buckets, the podcast for degenerates like us who like to drink beer, watch college basketball, NBA basketball, whatever you want to call it. We're part of the Basketball Podcast Network, where you get the latest on your favorite NBA and NCAA teams. For other shows like this one, check them out on Twitter at HoopsPodNet. I'm your host, Connor Caldwell. This is Dowell Harmon. Dowell, how you doing tonight? Or this morning?
You know, been busy at work since I took an entire week off to go to Florida and to New Orleans. But, you know, getting back in the swing of things. Anything notable happen while we were in Florida, Connor, that we want to talk about off the jump?
Nothing of notice other than, you know, lost in pickup 1-on-1.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Knew you were going to bring that up instantly. But I will say I played last night and didn't have to be the primary ball handler, and my game was so much better. So
let's go.
Yeah, that's just, you got to know your role, and my role is not.
You do.
I'm not a 1v1 merchant. I'm a off-ball merchant for sure. So opposing teams, if you want to catch me slipping, if you want to beat me, is make me the primary ball handler. That's what you got to do. So
funnel the ball to Connor and make him make plays.
Yeah, exactly. But no, we had a great time in Orlando.
It was great.
Sucks that UCF lost, but still was a fun game. Crazy that our on-off appearance was like way different. You know, on versus off. UCF was like getting toasted when we were watching the game. We go around getting some merch and getting some food, and they come back and tie it up at, you know, like, and then we go back and then immediately lose the leads or like lose the tie. So
yeah,
insane. We shouldn't have been there from the jump, I guess, if we wanted UCF to win. But I had a fun time.
It was great.
Stupid how they only went to the same section. See this 3 poster behind us? For the listeners, there's like a sign that says 3. And it says, wave this sign up if you want a chance to win a free T-shirt. They go to the same people every time, the same section. They didn't go like any up the steps or anything. It was insane. So, but got the cool poster out of it, got some merch out of it. So, yeah. But no, Beer Week was fun. The Maliko bombs were surprisingly good from Red Light. Didn't hate those at all. So, if you ever get the chance to do those, definitely do that. What do you like about Orlando? What else?
Galaxy's Edge was sick. I was smiling like a little child the entire day. Also got to ride the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which was pretty cool. So that's super new.
So cool. Yeah.
Animal Kingdom, also fun.
This man finally watched Avatar because of Animal Kingdom. He was anti-Avatar, and then he was like, you know what? I actually want to go watch the movie now. And so we did.
Fraud. I have no principles, no morals. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, though.
No, overall, fun trip, fun week overall, for sure.
Absolutely.
It's just been crazy. So before that, I went to a conference, and then we did that. We got back late Wednesday night. Friday I had to go back to Orlando for another conference with some students. So it's been a week of traveling. So that's why we're a little late on our episode today. But all in all, we're here. We're ready to talk sports. So let's talk about last week. Dowell, what was some game that you were confident on last week? Because I know we talked a lot of games, but you know there was a couple of things that we were confident on.
Yeah, I was pretty confident in K-State over Florida. Kansas State, well, I guess they lost last night, so they have dropped a little bit. But before their game against Kansas last night, they were half a game out of the Big 12. Pretty sure we mentioned them earlier on our teams that we were definitely too low on side as well. And I just am not impressed with this Florida team. So I was pretty confident on that one.
Yeah, I was hoping that Florida would be able to steal it at home, but Kansas State was way too much for them. So yeah, it's.
Did you see the handshake line at the end with Keontae George going through and shaking hands with all the Florida players?
No, I missed it.
It was really cool. Here, I'll send it to you on Twitter right now. But it was super cool because obviously he played there, so he knew a bunch of the guys. So they were all doing like their little secret handshakes and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, one thing that I was a little rationally confident about was USC over UCLA. Obviously, I say irrational because there was no evidence to suggest that USC would win that game. And I had no other points of proving it other than it just felt right and that they were the home team. So, hey, it worked out in my favor, so I'll take it. Teams I was too low on. I'll go on this one, Liberty. And I'm not a Liberty Flames fan.
Big thumbs down.
But they were definitely too low on them. Their only loss since December 12th was a 3-point loss on the road to EKU. Obviously, Eastern Kentucky's not basketball powerhouse, but it is that's still like impressive how long they've kept the streak up for the most part. 33rd in defensive adjusted efficiency in KenPom. Also, like I think top 70 in offense, so pretty decent there. Darius McGee is first in percentage of shots taken with 37.8%. He's first in the nation. He's 37.8% of shots from Liberty is by Darius McGee. Absolutely insane. He's 5'9", which is also insane. Like just shout out to them and the Flames because they've sneaking their way. This could be a tournament team if they win out their conference. So yeah, shout out to Darius McGee and the Liberty Flames.
Yeah, I was going to put Boise State on here and then not talk about them and say that I was the team that everyone was irrationally or like too low on. But no, I'm going to talk about Boise State. They have kind of climbed up into the top. Where are they again? They're 24th. So I was going to say top 25, but yeah, 24th. They're the top rated team in the Mountain West Conference. And outside of the loss on January 20th to New Mexico, they haven't lost. That's their only game they lost in January. So they went from 10-4 to 18-5, and only 2 more projected losses on their schedule according to KenPom. They have a big game on Friday with San Diego State, but putting together like a low-key, really, really good resume. They have wins over Washington State, who is 58th, Colorado 59th, Texas A&M 41st, and then a couple other top 80 wins in their non-conference schedule. So to go what's that? 10-3 in non-conference, and then to be 8-2 in the Mountain West right now is super, super impressive. They started out 85th in KenPom. So yeah, really, really impressive start for them. Their defense is 8th in adjusted efficiency on KenPom. So just wanted to shout them out because I don't think we'd really talked about them much at all this year. No,
we really haven't. And we also really haven't talked about some of these teams that we have to watch out for. Teams that are struggling to play to their expectations, or not even their expectations, but had maybe exceeded their expectations at some point and then kind of regressing to the means a little bit now. Yep. Who do you have for that?
Yeah, I have Ohio State. It's been a rough. I mean, the Big Ten is a ringer of a conference this year. There's just a ton of parity in that conference, so it feels a little bit like mean to put them in here because they're still playing relatively well, but they started off really hot. So this is more of the like regression to the mean, but they are now 3-7 in conference, 11-10 overall. They've lost. What's that? 7 of their last 8, and a lot of them are fairly close games. They lost a 2-point game to Purdue. They lost a 3-point game to Minnesota. They lost an overtime game against Rutgers. So none of these losses outside of their Indiana loss where they got beat by 16 on Saturday have been big losses either. So it's just like 1 or 2 shots really could have swung it. And their offense is still great at 10th, but their defense is now at 85th. And I mean, with how tough the Big 12 is, they're projected to go 9-11 in Big 12 play, which would leave them at 17-14 overall. But like, if a couple of those games flip, they could legitimately not even be eligible for the NIT because they wouldn't have an above 500 record. And this was a team that we thought, I mean, they got up into the top 10 at one point in KenPom right before they went on this losing streak. So definitely want to see Bryce Sensabaugh and the Buckeyes kind of get their defense back in motion so they can hopefully be a tournament team.
Yeah. I got my eye on Arizona State. They had one of the longest winning streaks there for a while. only dropping the first game, like their third game, to Texas Southern, but then went on to beat the likes of VCU, Michigan, Colorado, Stanford, Creighton. They were definitely in that Creighton losing streak.
December was a great month for them.
It really was, and then they to start January, they won 4 straight to start January, and then they now lost 4 straight, including a double-digit loss to Washington State, overtime loss to Washington. So, I mean, UCLA and USC are quality teams, going to be tournament teams, but still, they basically have to win out.
Those losses at home too.
Yeah, they should almost have to. They probably could afford to lose to Arizona and maybe Utah, but otherwise they probably will need to win out, win the rest of them as far as in February goes, for them to make the tournament at this point. I would imagine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're a solid team though. They're 40th in defense, 112th in offense. So offense needs work, but they are really good at making teams take tough shots. They're 17th in the nation doing that. And then they're 3rd in the nation in 2-point percentage defense. So they're really good at making teams take tough shots. I think with UCLA, USC, they probably just didn't have the length to match up with those guys. So overall, Arizona State, I think, could be a really good team. They're sitting at 64th in KenPom. They take care of Oregon State, Oregon, and Colorado, and maybe one of Utah or Arizona, and they should be right there in the tournament. So,
yep.
All right, let's talk about some upsets that happened last week. Maybe not the what happened order that we usually do, but just talk about it. I mean, to start the week, Virginia Tech taking down Duke. Not too much of an upset, but just enough. I mean, 78-75. But Filipowski was the MVP in that game. He had 29 and 10. That dude is good. He's better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, good at setting illegal screens that give him a 3-pointer to beat Wake Forest last night. I'm still salty.
Correct. Yeah. That was also the game that the dude, like, I forget what his name, but like celebrated by punching the air, ended up punching Filipowski in the throat.
How did they not call that? Like, I get that it's inadvertent because he clearly didn't mean to, but like,
yeah,
dude still punched a guy in the neck.
Yeah, even there was like they brought in like somebody on Twitter, or like commentators brought in one of the like a former official, and they're like, yeah, even you got to call that. There's still contact that you got to call. Like, it doesn't matter if it was like intentional or not. You still got to call that.
One thing actually I want to talk about with Duke real quick is Jacob Grandison. He was transfer from Illinois, was someone that I know Kentucky fans were like super, super adamant that we needed to go get. And he's played 10 or fewer minutes in like 5 of their ACC games so far. He had 10 points, but he's scored 2, 8, 14, 24 points since the beginning of January. That's just, he has had a much smaller impact than I was kind of expecting from him, considering how much he was talked up.
Yeah, he was definitely the hype. I think part of it is just like at that point in the portal, there wasn't a lot left. So they were just making mountains out of molehills at that point. I don't know.
Well, he also shot 41% from 3 last year and is only shooting 34% this year. So that's kind of a big.
I wonder if volume has to do with it a lot, though. Like, was he taking a lot of threes at Illinois? Is he taking more threes at Duke?
You know what I mean? He had 134 attempts all of last season and has 62 this year. So that's probably a similar pace.
Yeah, seems like it. Yeah, I don't know. Another upset that happened, we talked about, you mentioned Ohio State as your team to watch out for. But Illinois took them down 69-60 last week, with Terrence Shannon scoring 17 and 7 and 3 assists. So, solid game for Illinois. Holding this really good Ohio State offense to 60 points is a feat that should not go unnoticed.
Low-key, Illinois is kind of on a little bit of a hot streak. They started 0-3 in conference play, but are now sitting at 7-4, gone 7-1 in their last games. January was a very good month for them, with the only loss being a 15-point loss to Indiana at home. So
yeah, I still worry about their depth, especially at the guard position. Yeah, Sky Clark exiting, that sucks. So you got to watch out for that. But yeah, Xavier took down Connecticut 82-79, so in a close game. But Jordan Hawkins had 28 and 4. So solid game for him. I think we both picked Xavier to win this game, or at least no, you picked UConn. I picked Xavier to win this game. UConn it seems like they're reeling, man. They had a good win, I think, over the weekend, but still. Texas A&M. Go ahead.
Beat DePaul over the weekend. They're 6-6 in conference right now. That got them back to 500 in conference. Still weirdly like super high in efficiency. They've only dropped to 6th in KenPom despite that. So a lot of these losses again, kind of similar to what we we're talking about with Ohio State. Like one was a 1-point loss to Seton Hall, 3-point loss to Xavier. And then the wins they do get, they blow teams out. Which I think is a big thing for efficiency. So they seem like they're still probably fine, even though they're probably not like a 1 seed like we were expecting out of the non-conference schedule.
Yeah, Texas A&M and Tyrese Radford and Texas A&M, the Aggies there, took down the Auburn Tigers, 79-63. Radford had 30 and 9 in this game. And it was crazy because the first half, it was like the first 10 minutes was all Auburn, and then Texas A&M just flipped the script and just completely took over the rest of the game.
We were watching this game, and it was like kind of close, and then flipped it to something else, and then turned it back, and we're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, absolutely insane. Rhode Island, Braden Freeman, and Rhode Island took down Dayton 75-70. Your Dayton Flyers struggling this year.
Yeah, again, I'm just my Deron Holmes stock is being tainted by the fact that the rest of the team is just bad.
Correct.
I can't even find them on KenPom. Like, where are they?
Dayton's at 61.
Oh, I just can't read that.
Which is insane because they've lost so many games to bad teams. I don't know how they continue to stay this
Rhode Island 213th in KenPom, and they lost to them. Ugh, that's gross.
Yeah. Frankie Collins in Washington took down Arizona State 69-66 in overtime. Collins had 15, 6, and 6. So solid stat line for him.
Washington also a team that has really kind of fallen off. They're in the 100s now in KenPom, I think, even with
106. Yep, 106. I mentioned this one briefly, or we haven't really talked about enough of Iona, but Siena lost to Iona 70-53.
And
This is a 100-point or 100 difference ranking. Siena was 176, Iona was 77, so technically 99. But neither here nor there. Michael Baer with 18, 12, and 3. So Patina, man, what happened? What happened in that one? The Bulldogs of Mississippi State and Toulouse-Smith took down the Horned Frogs of TCU 81-74. Oof.
Weird to see this. Weird to see a 7-point split in overtime. Definitely something that you don't see often. Also, not even the strangest result from the Big 12 SEC Challenge.
No, that was an appetizer for the next one. But Toulouse-Smith was 27 and 13 and 5, like 4 blocks and a steal. Woo! Toulouse-Smith balling that day. He had to go to wherever TCU is, I forget, and take him out.
Hip code probably had him on something.
Yeah, maybe. All right, the weirdest result of the Saturday showdown between the SEC and Big 12: Oklahoma 93, Alabama 69. Grant Sherfield with 33, 6 assists, and 1 steal.
The best part about this game is that Alabama just came back and took all of that anger out from this loss out on Vandy last night and beat them 101-44.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Poor Vandy.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. I never would have predicted Oklahoma to go in to Tuscaloosa and win, let alone win with that margin of victory.
Yeah, I mean their offense is better than their defense. So holding Alabama to 69 points and 74 possessions is nuts. Yeah.
Pittsburgh and Miami. Pittsburgh took down Miami 71-68. Jamarius Burton with 19 and 10 and 7, 3 steals as well. So solid game for Pitt. They were almost on my little team I was too low on.
Yep.
They probably need to add 1 or 2 more wins like that for me to mention them. But that's a good win. That's a great win over a really solid Miami team this year.
No, and got a win over Wake Forest in a game they should have lost. So, obviously, better to learn from a win than a loss, and that was definitely one of those where they got outplayed, but still came out with the victory. So,
yeah. Oregon took down Utah 68-56. You picked this one as well. Jermaine Couisnard with 18, 5, 4, and a block. So, solid win for the Ducks. I'm still a little low on them, but you've been higher on them than me all season. So, no surprise that you picked them and I picked the Utes. Just sucks that they had to lose in the week that I picked the Utes to win.
Yeah, they kind of dominated that game from the jump. They won. The third quarter was a 1-point win for Utah, but if you break it up into quarters, they won all three of the other quarters. And second part of the first half, they ended up extending their lead by 7. So.
All right, UNLV took down Nevada 68-62. Justin Webster was 17, 3, and 2. Running Rebels, kind of low-key are a decent team this year. They've been up and down. They have some really good wins. They have some really bad losses. Nevada kind of the same way, just higher in Ken Palm. So overall, not super surprised by this, but I think I did pick the Wolfpack to win, and they didn't come through.
Yeah, next one we got an SEC Big 12 showdown that was a former Big 12 showdown.
Correct.
With Mizzou taking down Iowa State. Honestly, a really solid win for Mizzou. I think they had been on our kind of watch out for team because they had lost 3 of 4 to start January, but really solid resume boost here for a team that is projected to be about 22-9 according to Ken Palm. So that's a solid tournament team, and getting a win at home against Iowa State is definitely going to boost that resume.
Yep. This next game, Dowell, this is like the unstoppable force meets a immovable object. It's Rutgers at home, but you picking Iowa games. I think you picked Rutgers because you struggled to pick the Iowa games, and then what came through? Was it the Power Jersey Mikes, or are you picking Iowa? It was Iowa. So just whatever. It's just like me picking Duke, you picking Iowa. But 93-82, Iowa took down Rutgers with Chris Murray had 24 and 6 with 3 blocks.
I'm sorry, Cliff Amarui. I'm sorry.
The power of Jersey Mike's Arena did not come through.
Foiled by my Iowa jinx.
That was I totally forgot that happened. I looked it up and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be great. Texas Tech finally getting a conference win, and not just any conference win, a conference win over a top 25 team. Red Raiders took down Iowa State in overtime, 80-77. Kevin O'Banner with 24 and 13. I had that game on. I was like, come on, Tech, you gotta pull this one out. I don't know how they tied it up to send it to overtime and then end up taking the win. Incredible.
Wasn't Iowa State up by like 30 in this game?
I don't know if it was up by 30 at that point, but they were up by a lot. And I just know with like a minute and a half left, they were up by like 6. And I was like, Tech can't do this.
I think at one point it was just like 23 or something like that, but
just felt like a lot. Yeah.
I mean, they were up 17 at the half. Texas Tech scored 29 points in the final 10 minutes of that game.
That's insane.
Damn.
Like, that was a must win for Texas Tech, though. I mean, they're
Absolutely.
still probably they still have a lot of making up to do to even sniff the tournament. But there is a possibility. Winning at LSU over the weekend helped, and then beating obviously Iowa State helped. But yeah, it's tough.
They could not have afforded to lose that LSU game.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right, Fordham took down St. Louis 75-65. Quinsonberry had 27, 5, and 2 with 4 steals. Fordham's 149th in the nation. St. Louis is 79. So this is a pretty decent size upset here. And the Billikens just absolutely they're such a roller coaster team this year. They'll beat really good teams. They'll lose really bad games. So it's a struggle for them. For the
still 7-2 in conference. Actually, Fordham, despite their really bad adjusted efficiency, is sitting at 4th in the conference right now. So
yep. And the last one, we'll mention it from last night's slate of games. Boston College took down Clemson 62-54. Boston College 183 in the nation. Hunter Tyson with 22, 8, and 1 assist and 2 steals. So solid win for the Eagles there.
Yeah, Clemson definitely tried to get back on the winning side of this kind of late, and I mean BC was up big on them, and Clemson kind of came back. Hunter Tyson, like you said, with 22 and 8, I thought PJ Hall was going to be their best player, but it seems like Hunter Tyson has kind of taken that mantle from him, but still wasn't enough to get a win over the Eagles.
No, not at all. All right, let's drink some beer. You ready to have a beer this morning? I'm ready for a beer. So it's time for our beer review, and I'll start while you're looking up your stuff for your beer. But I got Offshoot Beer Company Relax. It's just a hazy IPA. It is a 6.8% ABV. I couldn't find the IBUs on it. It's from Placentia, California. Offshoot Beer Company is. Can's really cool. It's got a whale shark, so it's kind of like relax. It's just a whale shark kind of thing in the Jaws design. But it's one of the higher beers that we've ranked without the ranking on Untapped with 3.97. So
mine's a 3.98 today.
Woo! We got some good beers today. So let me give this a sip, and I'll let you know what I think. I like it. I mean, you guys know how I feel about IPAs, but it's a hazy IPA, so that helps. No, but it's a good sipping beer. Probably better on tap, obviously, just like any beer that we try here. But no, it's got good flavor to it. Am I going to pick it over other favorite beers? Probably not. But with the can quality of the design, solid flavor, give me the San Diego State Aztecs. Just all around good vibes. California, got to go with California there too. So yeah, am I going to pick San Diego State over other favorite teams of mine? No, but if they're on, I'm probably rooting for them. So that's how I feel about this beer.
I like it. I have Urban Artifact, which is a brewery out of Cincinnati. I have their Squeeze Box, which is apparently it's a strawberry Midwest fruit tart. I don't know what Midwest fruit tart is compared to if there's like a Western fruit tart or whatever.
I've had one of those by Urban Artifact as well. I think it's called the Gadget, but it was also a Midwest fruit tart as well. So
yeah, I don't know. We'll need to do some digging on what actually that entails and what the difference is between that and other regional fruit tarts. But it says this Midwest fruit tart has 12 strawberries and a speck of vanilla in each can. It's a good kind of sour beer when it has the pH instead of the IBUs. 3.45. Like I said, it's a 3.98 on Untapped. Let me do a little crack here. Love that. Ooh, strawberry is a good flavor, especially after the Last of Us episode. This is minor spoilers. It's not really impacting the plot, but there's a nice little strawberry scene in the most recent Last of Us episode, which everyone should watch. It was really, really good. But no, this beer is good too.
All right. Also, watching the games last night, there was a commercial for Daisy sour cream, and this commercial had the audacity to show people you could put sour cream on like potatoes or like your Mexican food or whatever.
Normal stuff.
This lady just straight up takes a strawberry and dips it in the sour cream and eats it. That is disgusting. Like I was like, why would anyone ever just do that? Just absolutely downright disgusting.
I'm anti-sour cream in general, so it's a biased take, but that's horrendous. Why would you ever do that? Whipped cream, sure.
Whipped cream, 100%.
Cream cheese, do you?
Maybe.
Do you if that's your thing.
Whipped cream cheese might be decent. Yeah.
But sour cream,
no way.
Get out.
No. Get out. Yeah, that's terrible. No, I haven't seen anything about like other style fruit tarts, so I think that's just a Urban Artifact term that they coined. But they Urban Artifact describes them as being lunchtime beers and extremely crushable.
Hey, We're recording this at 11:47, so
Yeah.
let's go. We'll go Xavier. They've been the surprising team, one of the more surprising teams in the Big East this year. Currently sit at 9-2 in the Big East, and they're from Cincinnati. So
Yeah.
we'll go Xavier as the beer that this reminds me, or the team that this beer reminds me of.
I like it. All right, let's jump to a commercial break, and then we'll jump back in for Shark Tank upsets.
Let's do it.
NBA fans, the NBA action is just getting started, and so are the incredible offers at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA pregame moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, total rebounds, total points scored, and more. With payouts bigger than ever, DraftKings Sportsbook is where I go to bet on the NBA. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use promo code TBPN, make any $5 bet this week, and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code TBPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, we're back for Shark Tank upsets. Dowell, what are you pitching today?
So, do you know who has the longest active win streak in the country?
No.
It is the Florida Atlantic Owls, who we have talked about a couple weeks ago as a team that deserves a little bit more respect.
Charleston lost theirs. They had the longest streak for the while, right? They were undefeated.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
But yeah, sitting at 20 games, they are 21-1, with their only loss being to Ole Miss on Friday, November 11th. They play UAB on Thursday, which they are projected to win by 1 point. I'm projecting that's on the road. I'm projecting that they get that win, but because they had to get up so much for that win, they have a short turnaround. They play in Charlotte on Saturday, and they are projected to win that game 60% of the time. So this is a smaller upset, but I have them going to Charlotte and losing to the 49ers. Charlotte really good at limiting offensive rebounds. Their 2-point percentage defense is really good, and they are in the top 32 in terms of both 3-point percentage and 2-point percentage. Top 15 in effective field goal percentage is Charlotte's offense. They have very much have the height advantage here. They also have they're about the same experience, but they play a shortened rotation, which I think over the long term can kind of be not helpful. But at home, when you're not going to get theoretically get bad calls, you're going to get a home whistle. That shortened rotation really can be beneficial. And I think that Florida Atlantic, at some point, they have to kind of return to the mean a little bit, and especially if they win that UAB game. But even if they lose, you could also kind of have that loss compound and Charlotte upset Florida Atlantic at home. What you got?
Yeah, and Charlotte's 24th in 3-point percentage, which is higher than Florida Atlantic, so they're at 34th. So, and then Florida Atlantic's 3-point percentage defense, 155th in the nation. So, it could be a lot high scoring affair with a lot of threes because Charlotte's defense on 3-point is not great. They're 276th. But I like that in favor for Charlotte. It's going to be, I feel like they're going to have to live on the perimeter because FAU is really good at defending 2-point percentage.
Which is weird because they're so short. Their average height is low. They have a 7'1" guy, but other than that, no one taller than 6'8". Interesting that they are so good at limiting people from 2-point.
Yeah, their average height absolutely insane. The difference is 329th in the nation for Florida Atlantic. Oof.
Yeah.
No, I'll probably buy a case on this. Nice. If I think Florida Atlantic's going to lose either of these games, I would probably say UAB with Jelly Walker. But like you said, even if they do, they could lose both of these games, honestly, back to back. Both on the road. Jelly and the what is the Blazers? Is that what their mascot is?
Yes.
Jelly and the Blazers are. That sounds like a band too, but Jelly and the Blazers are they're a pretty solid team, and I think that they could definitely take Florida Atlantic down at home, and I can see that Charlotte doing that here with 49ers. So, all right, yes, I'll take Case on it.
Nice. Also, wanted to shout out Ali Khalifa is 5th in the All Conference USA KenPom team right now, and Florida Atlantic doesn't have anyone on that list, which makes me think that they have the best player as well. So that helps.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. So Sharks, welcome. And the 69 nice team in Wisconsin is going to beat Ohio State. They're going to beat Ohio State, and this is why. First of all, Wisconsin's on a 3-game losing streak. So if we're going to snap one, it's going to be or on the road against Ohio State with the Buckeyes because, Wisconsin takes care of the ball. They're 3rd in the nation in turnover percentage, 13.8. Here's the thing is they also are really good at shooting threes. They're 62nd in the nation. 3-point percentage for Ohio State's higher, but I don't know. This is just one of those games that I feel like Ohio State's going to give up because they play who else they play in this one? This is the next game. This is on Thursday. So they've lost 2 in a row too. So it's a movable force meets a stoppable object. Somebody has to win this game. We've talked about how Ohio State's kind of reeling. Wisconsin has had as many good wins as bad wins. This is one of those gut feeling games, but this is one I like for some reason. It stuck out to me the most. What do you think?
Where is this game? Is it in Columbus or in?
Yeah, it's in Columbus.
Ooh, I think Wisconsin only has 1 away win this year in the Big 12 or Big 10. Both these teams are like reeling and need wins badly.
Yes. That is so true.
I'll buy a 6-pack. I'll buy a 6-pack just because of the turnover thing. I think that that'll help. But if this was in Madison, I would be much more willing to pick them.
Yeah. It's a weird game it's a weird matchup. I mean, Wisconsin's defense is 36th in the nation, so it's definitely like a battle of like who's going to be better, Ohio State's offense or Wisconsin's defense, because the opposite is almost just as bad. Like Ohio State's defense versus Wisconsin offense is just going to be like, whatever. So.
Yeah, Ohio State has the best player in this game in Bryson Spa, so that's one of the tiebreakers too that I normally look at. But yeah, I'll buy a 6-pack.
Nice. All right, well, we're talking other games, so let's just move on to our throwdown games. Last week, you pitched 18. I think it was 18 of like 24. I had 14 of 24 or something like that. But on the season, we're tied, so I'll take that. But Wednesday night, February 1st, so this is tonight as we record, and hopefully you're listening to this episode on your ride home from work. Providence takes on Xavier at 6:30 p.m. in Cincinnati. Who do you got?
I can't compare my beer to Xavier and then not pick Xavier, especially at home, so I'm going to go Xavier.
Yeah, I actually have Xavier at home too. I do like Providence, and I think that they've been the team of destiny this year. But Xavier at home is very hard to beat. So, give me Xavier. Oh yeah, I typoed on that one. All right, number 45, New Mexico takes on number 49, Utah State in Logan, Utah at 10:30 p.m. Who do you got?
This one's tough. Hold on. Let me pull up the KenPom little guy right here. Yeesh. Utah State's defense is not good, but their offense is really good.
I'm going with the Lobos of New Mexico, the real Rick Pitino.
That's fair. You like them. Jamal Mashburn Jr.
Monster Mash, baby.
I'll go Utah State then. Their offense is the best unit in this group. They're number 1 in 3-point percentage, which is dope. So I'm gonna say they get hot at home and beat the Lobos.
All right, Tennessee's taking on Florida in Gainesville at 7 p.m. I got Tennessee in this one. Florida,
High
we
on
talked about
Florida,
how not
so
good.
I'm
Yeah,
going Tennessee as well.
yeah. It would be insane. Like, it wouldn't be out of the question, though, for Florida to win this game, though. That's the funny part. It's like you never know what team you're getting with Tennessee or Florida. But, yeah, on the road, I don't think it bothers on a Wednesday night. It's not going to bother this volunteer team. So, number 33, Oklahoma State's taking on number 38, Oklahoma at 9 p.m. in Norman, Oklahoma. Who do you got?
Let's go Oklahoma here. They had a big win over Alabama. I think they carry that over, and so I'll go Sooners.
Yeah, I'm going Oklahoma as well. Actually, no, I'm going to go Oklahoma State.
Why not?
Yeah, because we've seen this Oklahoma team go up and down. This could be the down for them.
True.
Seton Hall is taking on St. John's at 8:30 p.m. in Jamaica, New York. I'm going Seton Hall here with the upset on the road. And if I'm not mistaken, St. John's been battling some injury issues. Seton Hall's kind of finding their groove. Give me the Pirates.
Yeah, I'm going to go St. John's here because, as we know, I love Posh Alexander. Andre Curbello's there being his chaotic self, and they play up-tempo, and that's fun. So I'm going the Johnnies.
Pittsburgh taking on North Carolina at 7 p.m. in Chapel Hill. Who do you got?
Let's go Pittsburgh here. I think they I shouldn't do that. We'll go Pittsburgh. Why not? They're a hot team right now, playing much better than they had been. I realize this is at the Dean Dome, which this is not a smart pick on my part.
For that reason, I'm going UNC because it's at the Dean Dome.
You're welcome.
And even though I want Pittsburgh to win,
you're welcome for me gifting you this win this week.
Well, even though I want Pitt to win because they need it more, it's going to be tough at the Dean Dome. But stranger things have happened. Penn State's taking on Purdue at 6:30 p.m. in West Lafayette, Indiana. Who you got?
I'm going to go Purdue here. If it was in Happy Valley, I would maybe pick Penn State, but Purdue is just a juggernaut. And even I could see Penn State winning this game, obviously, because they are so good from three, but I am not going to bet on that happening. So,
yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I got Purdue as well. There's just not one person on Penn State's team that I think can stop Zach Edey in this game. So, yeah,
there's not anyone in the country really that can stop Zach Edey at this point.
Correct. All right, not Tuesday, Thursday. Washington State's taking on USC at 11 o'clock in California. Obviously, who you got?
Let's go. I missed out on the USC pick earlier. This is at home. I'll go USC.
Yeah, I got the Trojans in this one as well. Home game for them, and I got to keep rolling with them now that they helped me upset UCLA.
This is a really weird, this is a really weird game in that no one unit really sticks out a bunch, except for USC's defense. Like their 2-point percentage defense is the best in the country, so we'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, they really made UCLA uncomfortable, forcing really tough shots. That's like UCLA's bread and butter. So this is a solid matchup for them. I like it. Oregon's taking on Arizona at 10:30 p.m. in Tucson. I got Arizona in this one. I'm going to continue to be low on Oregon, but I just think the home team here helps it. And also Arizona wants to run, and that's just not Oregon's game. They want to slow it down. So give me the Wildcats.
Arizona's kind of weird. They have only lost 2 games since December 1st. They have only lost 2 games. And in that time, they have dropped from as high as 6th in KenPom to they're at 12th right now, but they were 15th after their win on Saturday. So just a strange, weird drop for only losing 2 games, but seemingly dropping in efficiency that much. With that said, I would really.
This is a rematch, by the way. This is a rematch,
they
by
did
the
lose.
way.
All right, they lost to Oregon by 19.
19, yeah.
Yeah,
At
Oregon.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to repeat, but if it does, whatever. Santa Clara taking on Gonzaga at 11 o'clock in Spokane. I'm probably going to go Zags here, but I would not be surprised if Podziemski took down Gonzaga here because Gonzaga's kind of sneaky. Yeah.
He needs to have this would be a terrible decision on their part, but he needs to have a sponsorship with Tide so that they can do the Tide Pod Challenge and have him do a bunch of random stuff. That would be great. It's probably not something they want to promote.
No.
Gonzaga also has dropped a ton. They're down all the way to 16th in KenPom, despite losing one game since the beginning of December. Let's go. Damn, and they lost at home to Loyola Marymount. I'm going Santa Clara. Let's do it. There's another dumb one that I'm probably going to gift you, but whatever.
All right, Friday, the 3rd, Boise State taking on San Diego State at 9 o'clock in San Diego. Who you got?
Got to go Aztecs here, despite putting Boise State in my teams that we were too low on segment. Can't go against the Aztecs.
I'm going to go Boise State. We've seen San Diego State lose at home, so it's not like it's a real home court advantage for them. So, yeah. VCU taking on St. Louis at 7 o'clock in St. Louis. Give me the Billikens with the upset here. I guess it's not technically an upset, but they're ranked lower. But, yeah, give me St. Louis in this game.
Sure, I'll really go VCU.
All right, Saturday the 4th at 4 o'clock, Purdue's taking on Indiana, in Bloomington, so in Assembly Hall. Who do you got?
Give me Purdue.
This is a tough game.
This is a tough game. This is like pretty much even on KenPom. But yeah, I'll go Purdue.
I'm going to go Indiana because we know Indiana can get a home cook and whistle. And I think Trace Jackson Davis versus Zach Edey is going to be fun. It's going to be electric. It's going to be slow. It's going to be a low-scoring affair, but it's going to be fun. So.
Yes, it will be.
So, yeah. Texas taking on Kansas State at 4 o'clock in Manhattan, Kansas. Who you got?
Give me K-State. I'll roll with them since I rolled with them on the Florida pick. My roommate Jared liked that pick too, so I feel good about it.
Yeah, I'm going K-State in this one as well. Texas on the road. No, thank you. Number 9, Kansas taking on 18 Iowa State, at noon in Ames, Iowa. Who you got?
I wore my Iowa State shorts yesterday, which is a bad choice because I also have Texas Tech shorts, and I didn't wear those even though they got beat. But Hilton Magic is unbeatable. I don't think that's actually true because, well, let me actually look and see if they've lost a game at home. I don't think they have. Nope, only neutral and away sides. Hilton Magic, baby. We're going to Iowa State.
I'm going Kansas. I think they've figured out why they went on that 3-game losing streak, and then we have DeJuan Harris just absolutely killing it in the last 2 games.
Yeah, where did that come from?
So if they just unlocked that, there's no stopping this Jayhawks team. They made so many tough shots against Kentucky, down the stretch, just absolutely contested shots, crazy. So. And then last night, they took down TCU, or was it Kansas State or TCU? K-State. So, yeah. So
18. Wow.
He had 25 last night. Just they've either figured something out or he's out of the slump. I don't know what it is, but he's actually a productive member of their offense now, and it unlocks this Jayhawks team. So it's hard to go against them at this point. Illinois is taking on Iowa at 2:30 p.m. in Iowa City. Who do you got?
Pass. I don't want to pick this game.
Who are you picking so I can just pick the opposite?
I refuse to pick. Iowa, I guess. I don't know.
All right. I
can only pick against Iowa, so I'll try and change my luck there.
I got Illinois. Then watch it. If that comes through for me, oh my gosh!
This is how you're gonna win this stupid contest. Is you're just gonna make us pick all the Iowa games, and I'm gonna lose all of them.
Yep. TCU's taking on Oklahoma State at 2 o'clock in Stillwater. I have TCU in this one on the road. I have Oklahoma State upsetting Oklahoma, even though it's technically not upset, but on the road, I think they get up for the in-state rivalry. Therefore, they're going to be tired and lose to TCU, which is a better team anyway. So,
yeah, TCU's better team. I'm going to go TCU as well.
All right, Virginia taking on Virginia Tech at noon in Blacksburg. This is a tough matchup as well. Some solid teams here. In-state rivalry. Who you got?
I don't even know what a Hokie is. No one does. So I'm going to go Cavaliers. They're also
I'm going to go Cavs here. Yeah, they're a better team. All right, North Carolina taking on Duke in Durham. So the first of the two matchups at 6:30 p.m. This is tough. Probably going to go Duke here because
I'm going to go the Meteor, and I hope that that's who wins. Now, I feel like that they always switch, and like North Carolina wins at Duke, and Duke wins in Chapel Hill. So I'm going to go North Carolina.
All right.
Wake should have beat Duke last night, and so I'm mad at Duke, so I'm not picking them.
No, well, you know what? I'm picking Duke to win, so it's guaranteed UNC is going to win for you.
Let's go.
That's also true. Gonzaga taking on St. Mary's is the second Gonzaga game that we're talking about. It's at 10:30 p.m. At St. Mary's. I'm going St. Mary's here. This is the team that I think can upset Gonzaga. Well, it's not even upset because they're ranked higher, but I think this is the team that Gonzaga is going to beat or going to lose to. Though I think Santa Clara could beat them. St. Mary's is just a solid offense all around.
0-2 for Gonzaga this week. We're going St. Mary as well.
Ooh. All right. Missouri
I wonder when the last time Gonzaga lost 2 straight in conference.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm going to go look at this, actually.
While you're doing that, Missouri taking on Mississippi State in Starkville at 6 o'clock. Give me the Tigers in this one. Though Tolu Smith and Mississippi State are a very solid squad, I think Missouri needs this win more. So Dennis Gates also a really good coach, underrated so far. Maybe might be teetering on overrated. I don't know. What do you think?
I'll go Miss State here. Better team plus at home. All right, I'm back to 2014. 2014 is the last time they lost 2 in a row in West Coast Conference play.
All right, I didn't pick Oregon earlier, but I'm picking them now. Oregon's taking on Arizona State at 10 o'clock in Tempe. Give me the Ducks because they're going to be mad after losing to Arizona on their Arizona trip this week. So
Tempe or Tempe?
Tempe, yeah.
I'll go Oregon too. I've been high on them. If you're picking them, I have to pick them.
Auburn at Tennessee at 2 o'clock in Knoxville. Who you got?
The little penguin man can't win this game. Tennessee's going to have him in hell. So Tennessee. If this was at Auburn, maybe, but it's in Thompson-Boling, so I can't pick them.
That doesn't really prove anything to me. Obviously, we've seen Tennessee lose at Thompson-Boling. Give me Auburn in this one. No reason as to why, but I like it. St. John's at Xavier. At 5 o'clock in Cincinnati. Are you going 2 for 2 on Xavier this week? Or
yeah, I mean it would be 2 for 2 on St. John's as well.
Yeah,
but no, I'll go Xavier. This is at home too. If it was on the road, maybe. Where does
I can't switch up now. Can't switch up now and not pick Xavier at home. They're really good at home. So yeah, I'm going Xavier as well. All right, Sunday, just 2 more games. Northwestern at Wisconsin at 6:30 in Madison. Who you got?
This is going to be the grossest basketball game that has ever been played.
Correct.
I'll go Northwestern, I guess. They're theoretically the better team. Both are gross.
I'm going Wisconsin at home. Wisconsin's going 2-0 this week. That's what I got. All right, and then last game, Houston versus the Houston Killers, Temple Owls, 6 o'clock in Philadelphia. Who you got?
Houston is going to beat them by 87 points. They're going to come out. This is a revenge game. They're going to beat the shit out of them.
Where? Hold on just a second. In their loss, it was 56-55. Where does Houston rank in the American now? They're still second in the American, which is insane. Temple does. Excuse me. Give me the Owls at home. This John's gonna go crazy. Yeah, no. They're gonna double down and be like, we're for real. We're second in the American for a reason. Give me the Owls.
If they win this, they'd be first.
Correct. Yeah,
because they'd have the tiebreaker.
They want it. They want it. They want it.
Oh, dude, he's gonna beat them by 87 points. It's gonna be great.
I mean, look at
Jarris Walker went 3 for 12 shooting in that first game. He might go 12 for 12 shooting in this game.
Temple has been actually really good in conference. Obviously, they're second in conference, but since January they've beaten Cincinnati by 9, South Florida by 4, which is not a great win. Yeah, they lost to Tulane. They beat Tulsa by 4. They lost to Memphis by 3. East Carolina, but they blew East Carolina out. They beat Houston by 1. They beat South Florida by 3, so the margin is shrinking there. And then they beat UCF in overtime by 7. But watching that game against UCF in overtime the other day they made tough shots.
I'm under the Black Panther. Is this your king? Like, this is who you're betting on. Team that beat USF by a combined 7 points in 2 games.
Hey, but they beat Houston, so head to head, straight up at Houston too. That's the crazy part. It wasn't even in Philadelphia. It was at Houston. So.
Even more so, why Houston is just going to come out on fire.
Maybe
they also went 11 for 21 from the free throw line in that game, which Temple went 20 for 22. So a little bit of a swing there.
Yeah, Temple's just not great on offense at all. 149th. It doesn't matter. Houston absolutely just their defensive strategy is insane. Like, it's not even like that great of a strategy. It's just like, we're athletic and we're gonna blow up any handoff that you have and then just get easy fast break buckets.
Beautiful basketball.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, it's time for the last call. Dowell, what are you departing us with?
I'm departing with Shot Quality is a great Twitter account to follow for both college and NBA. It shows you. It essentially goes through and takes if a team on average shot the same shots they take, like it predicts it by that versus what they actually end up shooting. So the reason I say this is because I'm mad at them right now, because Wake should have won their last 3 games according to Shot Quality and are 0-3 in those games. Mm-hmm. So we're on a love-hate relationship with Shot Quality right now, but good follow. And just an interesting way to look at the game in general, because there are definitely games where you're like, oh, well, that team didn't really feel like that they should have lost. And then you go look and it is confirmed via that, a.k.a. the St. Peter's loss, which according to Shot Quality, UK should have won 98% of the time or something. But neither here nor there. Yeah,
I have a love-hate relationship, like you said, with Shot Quality. I think there are definitely... It's easy for agenda pushing, but it's not always the most accurate representation of how the game went or how it should have went. So definitely follow them, but take it with a grain of salt. Don't use it for just agenda pushing.
It's an interesting data point to add to overall analysis, just like anything is an analysis.
Correct. I am going to shout out the book that I got Monday night called How to Watch Basketball Like a Genius by Nick Green. So far, really liking it. It just basically breaks the game down and then makes you, it's talking about how to understand the sport better, just overall deconstructs the sport from top to bottom and then puts it back together, detailing the intricacies of the sport. It's made me I'm obviously in chapter 2, so I'm not super far into it, but so far it's made me understand why the rules are in place and things like that. Definitely fun, and I'm excited to get more into it, so that way I can understand more of how to watch this game like a genius.
Do we need to do Beers and Buckets book club?
Maybe I would be down for Beers and Buckets book club because I'm
That sounds
also
like a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, so definitely. I mean, I'm reading that, but also I just finished not long ago. Let me find it on Audible. I finished. I'm reading Game of Thrones right now on Audible. I'm actually reading the book that I was telling you about in person. But Where the Deer and the Antelope Play by Nick Offerman. So Beers and Buckets recommendation. If you like nature and hiking and you think Nick Offerman's funny, go ahead and read
Shout
that.
out Last of Us, because he was also in the last episode. So
Yes, he was. What book do you recommend? Beers and Buckets book club.
See, I don't know how to read, so that would be my issue. But I'll try and learn so that we can have Beers and Buckets book club. No, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a solid read. So definitely check that out. But yeah, that's my last call. And also just enjoy basketball, enjoy beer, and make sure you follow us on TikTok and Instagram. We're going to be more active soon. And subscribe to our YouTube channel and like, rate, leave a review, and share this episode. And then check out the Basketball Podcast Network on Twitter for more shows like this one. This has been The Bottom Line because Connor said so. You guys have a fantastic week, and we will see you next week.